I'm going to show you, and then I'm going to stand up. We'll do it with the pelvic floor exercises. So Apan is really good, eliminate toxins. I'm doing a lot of health kind of mudras this month. So this one eliminates toxins from eyes, mouth, ears, nose, but it also very good for regulating liver function, and it's very good for digestion. So if you've just had your tea, this is perfect. So you're going to go middle finger, ring finger, touch with the thumb, and then the tricky part is trying to straighten out those other fingers, and it's just that gentle pressure. The two middle fingers, both hands are the same, touching into the thumb. So palms up for this. You might do this every day, possibly morning is best, and it's something like you might do it for 30 minutes. But obviously, again, we're going back to the idea of what I said just when we all came in about just the little and often, or just getting something done is often better than nothing. So, Apan Mudra. Come to stand in the middle of your mat, feet hip width apart, tuck your pelvis under. Thinking about growing nice and tall, length through the back of the neck, shoulders relaxed. And let's just go with the pelvic floor and transverse abdominis. So pulling them both in, if you can, together, or one and the other. Pull in, hold for 1 second, and then take a slow release. Let's do that 10 times. So drawing in and release. And in and out. In and out. Just checking you're not gripping your toes, grinding your teeth, and out, in, and out. Finding that pelvic floor, in, out, and in, out. 3 more, in, and out, and in, and out. Just check you're not holding your breath, and in, and out. And then just find your 50%. So it's going to be there throughout your class. Release your fingers and just take your shoulders up to your ears and take a bit of a shoulder circle. Just rinsing out any tension in there. Might have some a little bit hiding there in the neck. Try not to dip the head forwards. So thinking about that length at the back of the neck. And we're going to add in, we're going to go arm circles, reaching up and circling around. When the arms go up, try and keep that connection there with the pelvic floor and that TBA. If you're adding in here up onto toes for a bit of balance. And then if you've got the screen down, try not to look down at the screen now. So if you can do 4 looking forwards. So bring your eye gaze forwards. Keep that length at the back of the neck. Getting as tall as you can and sinking those heels back down. Let's just go one more. And release. Okay, so now to our side bend. So reaching down to the side of the knee. Slide the fingers down, side of the leg. You can dip the ear down to the shoulder. You can even hitch up the other shoulder if you want to there. And then if you want more space, reach the arm up and over. Your pace. So if you want to slow this down a little bit more, feel free. Eye gaze forwards, or you might think about looking up. A little bit of spiraling, heart to ceiling. Really reach the fingertips over towards the sides. Spread the fingers. Exhale as you reach. 2 more. Coming to centre though. So we're now going to go to those long bands if you've got them there. Just finding out where you want to hold it, because it depends on your tension really, because we're going to go in and out, so it's going to be opening and then bringing it back together. And again, if you've got super heavy band, you have to work out where you hold it. So you want to just get it so it's, obviously you don't want to snap your band, just so you're taking it into that point of tension. Think about the wrists here as well, so try not to drop the wrists down. It's really tempting to do that, so stay strong through the forearm, through the wrists. See if you can keep them nice and high, even higher than the fingertips maybe. Length at the back of the neck, try not to lean forwards with the chin. And then you're still engaging here with the pelvic floor and that TVA, pelvis tucked under. So you're kind of squeezing those shoulder blades together. We can add into this. We're going to take the band over the top and then pulse. I'm just coming closer so you can see. So it looks a bit like that when you pulse. Take it over and then you can put in a little opening. Take it over and then pulse. It's like you've got a little cape behind you and you're just kind of sweeping it out, just getting a little bit of air there. If only we could walk around with a cape. There we go. Coming back to centre then, and find some opposition with the next one. I tend to fold my band in half as well, so I've got more tension. So hands are about shoulder width or slightly wider. And then you hold it up level with your shoulders, and you take you're working your hands away from each other, but your shoulder blades towards each other. So that's, your shoulders are down and back. Your hands are kind of working it, put like you're trying to rip the band in half, and your shoulder blades are working together. And then just release. And then again, working with that opposition, 2, 3, 4, 5, and release. And we'll do one more. And then work. Shoulder blades coming together. Still working with that pelvic floor. And release. So we'll put it into the squat now. So show you what we're going to do. So you can put work your position into the squat, take your hips back into space, then come to standing, and then just take a nice full body stretch. So reach the band up over the head. Then reset, go to your squat. Put that little bit of opposition work in there, and then just reach up. As you reach up, think about looking forwards. Keep the length at the back of the neck. Thinking about finding the pelvic floor, find that TVA, particularly as we take the arms over the head. Tuck the pelvis under. Your pace then, you can go now. Keep working, try and keep that head in between the arms. Thinking about putting some length back through the spine. Watching those feet, those knees, don't pronate in on these squats, feet facing forwards. And last one, into your squat. And up to your stretch. Okay, standing on the band like a skipping rope position now. So come back to the wall so you can see what I'm doing. So I've got the band under the middle of my feet, shoulders down and back, pull in there, the pelvic floor and the core, and then just lifting up one leg, so a bit of balance, and pulse. So little leg lift, pulse into the band. About 5, and then just take the weight over, little pendulum. 2, 3, 4, 5. And then again, just tipping. You'll find that you have to really work at pressing your foot into the mat. Perhaps engaging there with the big toe. Use the pelvic floor. 2, 3, 4, 5. Making sure the pelvis is tucked under, you're not arching in the lower back. One more each side. 2, 3, 4, 5. Last one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, another one standing on the band. So just show you, because you're going to need more mats for this. So this time, just letting the band loose, and so you're going to stand on it with one foot. And then the same, so the foot's on the band, my right foot's on the band, my right hand, who's got the band, is going to lift that band forwards for a front raise. This is again another balance. And my left foot's going to go back. And then I'm going to come back to a high knee. And as I do my high knee, I'm going to take the band out to the side for a lateral raise. Can't really see it that well. Get my angle right. So if you can do about 5 on each leg. So you've got your front raise. So you have to do one leg and then do 5 and then do the other side. Up to you how far you want to do your leg lift and your high knee, because you could just point your toe and then really think about length. So squeezing through that glute, pushing down through that back leg. And then on that high knee, thinking about your balance. So otherwise you can really go forwards into that kind of leg lift as well. So there's those options in there, just wherever your balance is at really. Exhale into your lifts, into your work, into your extensions. And then over to the other side when you're ready. Do it on that side actually. Bit like watering your neighbour's garden. You ever do that over the fence? Oh, I put it the wrong way around. Again, just keeping an eye on the wrists. Stay strong in the wrists. Just see if you can do 5 of these. Your level. Okay, let's put the bands down. And then we're going to just go to a nice wide stand, wide-legged stands. You can allow the feet to turn out if you want to. Breathing in, circle the arms, reach the arms up over their heads. You can even look up there as well if you want to. Breathing out, see if you can come down, forward fold, chin to chest. Maybe touch the floor, or maybe just touch the backs of your legs. Breathing in, lift. Almost working with that kind of expansive breath we've done before. Breathing out, forward fold. Widen the ribcage as you inhale. Exhale, soften and release. Something quite nice about taking up loads of space and just having really wide legs with this. Really grounding, just catching the breath. One more. Then let's go to free weights if you've got them. If not, you can still do these exercises without. And we are going to stick with that wide-legged position, but this time into a bit more of a squat position. Take that big circles with your weights. Head stays center, core stays pulled in. Breathing in, lift, breathing out, lower it down with control here. Right gaze forwards, let's go the other way. Fall back round. Just getting those Shoulders strengthened but also released after doing some of that band work. Then I'm going to bend in one knee, and we tend to want to lean forwards with this, but I want you to see if you can stay nice and upright. Hips are facing forwards and you're getting this lovely stretch down the inside of the leg, and take a shoulder press here. Quite tricky because you want to move, you're in a stretch position, but see if you can really tuck the pelvis under, drawing in the core. And then go to the other side, so bending in the knee, getting into that stretch position, tuck the pelvis under. Stay nice and tall through the spine. We tend to want to lean forwards here. Eye gaze forwards. Remembering just to keep that breath nice and regular. Try not to hold the breath. Couple more. Okay, nice. Then just wiggle the feet back in. Place the weights down. Just only a little bit on weights for today. Then we're going to go to balance. Got a few exercises here, so pick a side. Maybe go to the one you don't normally go to. Just see if you can find a balanced position. You could go hands at heart center if you want to. You could place your foot on there, you could tree, you could high knee, you could eagle. I'm going to leave that totally up to you. Or just hover that foot off the floor. See if you can close your eyes. Count to 5. Find some kind of anchor there, big toe or glutes, pelvic floor. Then you're going to release and go into your heel lifts. So if you can do 5 heel lifts, roll through the ball of the foot towards the big toe. Working with your balance. Then hands on hips, and we're going to do a little what's called a hip hike. So basically you're going to just hitch this leg that's lifted, hitch and lower. So think about your hips, lift and lower, hip hike. 5 of these. If anyone's done any knee rehab, hip hikes often in the knee rehab. Then we're going to still stay in your balance. You're going to scrunch up the toes on this balancing foot, scrunch them up, and then see if you can lift them up. I'm holding onto the wall. Cheating, but you can always hold on for this. So you're going to scrunch the toes, press all 5 toes down into the mat, and then lift them up. And then again, so you can do it 5 times. Scrunch and lift. Scrunch. Like when we were scrunching up the towel exercises in the sitting on chair. And lift. And release. And then you might want a little bit of wiggle after that one before we go on to the other side. Again, your choice. Hand position, leg position. Can just take a little hover. See if you can close your eyes, count to 5. Find your anchor. Then your heel lifts. Pressing down into the mat. Thinking about that glutes squeezing, that pelvic floor engaging. 5 of these. Then these hip hikes, so maybe you want your hands on hips, and then lift and lower, lift and lower, lift and lower. 1 more. Then ready for the toe scrunching, so scrunching up the toes. This really gets me on balance. And then lifting up all the toes. And then again, scrunching them in, pressing them in. And then lifting 5 times, scrunching. And then lifting. Scrunching. And then lifting. Nice. And again, a little bit of a wiggle if you want a hip circle. It's amazing, isn't it, doing this footwork for me? I can really feel my hips from doing that. So it's amazing, those connections. We're going to go single leg exercise. We're going to go your choice to go and do one exercise today instead of, I think last week we did 2, and do 10 on each leg. If you've got the time, if you're on steps, you might get time for 2 of those 2 10s. So you've got your chair squats, you've got your dips on a step, you've got deadlifts, you've got lunges, or you could do the lunge, the newish one I've been doing, the lunge with your foot on a chair like that. That was the new one we've been putting in. So much choice, I don't know what to do. I think I'll do chair. I do find the chair particularly effective for my knees. You don't need to rush these as well. You can take your time. Get yourself lined up, get yourself ready. Feet facing forwards, press the feet down into the mats. Sending the hips forwards and up at the end of the move. Eye gaze forwards, we tend to look down on a lot of these. If you're on the chair, try not to flop back down into that chair. Try and keep the control. You can always put weights as well into your lunges, your deadlifts. Checking in, we're not holding the breath. We're going to go to the downward dog, so when you're finished your set, you can meet us there. Well, I'll be there. And a bit later, I was faffing a bit. If you're there in a downward dog, perhaps take a jazz walk. Stretching out the backs of the legs, the calf muscles. Spread the fingers. Spiral biceps towards each other. Sending the hips up to the ceiling. Try and get that stretch on the backs of the legs and on the backs of the shoulders. A couple of deep breaths here. We're just going to have a moment in a high lunge. So if you step forwards with the right leg, so if you can lift yourself up to that balancing position of your high lunge, get your hips facing forwards, pushed back through that back foot. Really long stride, big stretch. Take your arms forwards in front of you. So my head's cut off in the thing. And what you're going to do is do a big circle with one arm all the way around up to the ceiling, and then go to the other arm. You're going to find a twist as you do one arm, and you're going to find a bit of a opening on the other one. Then go again. So if you can do 3 on each side. Slow, big circles with the arm. The other arm faces forwards whilst you're circling. It's a bit of balance work, this. One more. Then go back into downward dog. Send your hips back up, another bit of a jazz walk, and then we'll go to the left leg. Same thing. Step it forwards. Find your high lunge balance. Push through that back leg. Get that really long stride in there. Big stretch. Then get your arms in front. You can just about see my arms in that shot. And then go your circles, 3 on each side. I'm circling backwards, I don't know if you've noticed that, just to get that opening there on the shoulder. like you're doing like a backstroke. Try and get the back nice and straight here. Once you've done your 3 on each side, go back into your downward dog. Step back, hips up. Jazz walk last time. Maybe you can feel a little bit more space after then doing the high lunge challenge. And then just bringing it down onto all fours. Hands under shoulders and knees under hips. I'll put an option in here if you want a free weight add in. But what we're going to do is we're going to do onto the side. So there's an option there if you want to put in to free weight. And then opposite leg, lift. I have got more add-ins coming in. So your choice there if you want a lateral raise with a free weight. Sometimes it depends on how heavy your weights are. It's quite hard from the all fours position. Tucking that pelvis under, so just checking we're not arching in the lower back. Options. Lift, leg straight, circle that leg. Stay lifted. Other way around. And then release. Again, try it the other side. Small circles, the size of a grapefruit with control. It's quite hard in this position to keep the control on that, really work with the glutes. And lift. I gaze to the front of the mat. One more each side. Adding the circling if you want to, if you've got the control. Coming back to center then, let's low lunge. Hands just on your knee, or if you want, reach the arms up to the ceiling. Get that full stretch on the hip flexor. Option to tuck your toes under at the back. Bit of a toe stretch if you want it. Reaching those arms up. Take a couple of breaths here. Option now, if you want to, is to come down into your pigeons. If you're not happy with a pigeon, you could maybe go lizard, where you go toes off the mat, heel on the mat, hands down through center. Otherwise, you've got your pigeon position, just a little bit lower, and then you could bring that all the way down. Have a moment's rest. Stretching for the hips, stretching on the glutes. Take a deep breath. Then bring yourself up. Let's go to the other side. It's that low lunge. Hips facing that the way that you're facing. Nice and squared. Reach the arms up. Pull in the pelvic floor. Tuck the pelvis under. You could tuck those back toes under. A little bit more stretch there on the quads. Looking forwards. Take a breath. Then your choice. Whether you want to go on lizard, toes off, heel on. That's very much working with your hips. Or whether you want to go into your pigeon, which is hips as well, but also a little bit of glute work. You can bring that all the way down. A couple of breaths to just rest there with that stretch. So from there we're going to go into Sphinx position. So you can just extend both legs if that's an easy one for you, or find your own way there. Elbows underneath your shoulders. So sending the hips down as you start to lift up the heart space, the crown of head. You could lift up the kneecaps and then placing them back down, send the toes down to the end of the mat, just getting as long as you can through the spine. Couple of breaths. If you want more, go with your cobras. So bring your hands just in front of your shoulders, keep your elbows tucked in, gently lift into cobras and then lower. If you're still tight, you want more space, king cobra, lifting up the hips as well. So there's lots of layers in there. You could be on Sphinx, you might be doing a mini cobra, you might be trying to get into that full cobra where the crown of head's really lifting, or you might be up there in king cobra. Work with your body and work with your day. Then just resting the head down on the hands. Just going to take a glute activation exercise. So squeezing in one glute, lifting up the leg, and then lower. Squeeze the glute, get the hamstring to engage. Other side of the lower back, stabilizing the hips. Just noticing if you're really pressing down with the resting leg. So see if you can just let go of the resting leg, so you're doing the work in the core and the lower back, not in the legs, to stabilize. Three more. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Then let's do a little bit of a quad stretch, so reach back towards your heels. Take a rest, send the hips down into the mat. Exhale, try and release. Fronts of the legs. And then to the other side. Exhale, release. Draw the heel towards your bum. Then choice here if you want your tilted bow. Go for your tilted bow, so you're reaching back, you're holding on to both your ankles. Lift and you can spin that around. Don't fancy the tilted bow. Perhaps go for a single leg kick in prone and work with core engagement, pelvic floor, lower back super still with a single leg kick. So your choice in there. Need a bit of space if you've got the tilted bow. Coming back to centre, swan dives. So I've really noticed, I said this on Thursday, I've really noticed swan dives quite hard for me because I've been teaching children and I'm always looking down in the pool and back to doing that, and I've noticed that my spine is finding it hard. So you could either do your block exercise if you've got anything in front of you, want to practice working at pulling on that stretch, or I'm going to put the band in for anyone who wants a bit of a progression with the band. But if you don't want to do either one of them, cactus, Lift head and shoulders, just working on getting the top of your spine to do that lift and lower, just combating all of the rounded shoulder stuff we do in modern life. You can add in lifting up those arms and extend. So if you want to go with me on the band, you're going to put the band in, and it's very much like we did in warm-up. You're going to lift it and take it over the head into that cape behind you, and then you're going to bring it forwards and then release down. And you're going to do 3 more, whichever one you're in, whichever one you're working with. And if even arms in front are too much, take the arms down by your sides of your body, and try and work into your lift and lower in that position. Such an important move, this one, for posture. And sometimes I've noticed I haven't even noticed how rounded my shoulders were getting. How difficult I was finding this move. So such a good one to do if you know that you're doing a lot of things, which means you're going to be bending forwards a lot of times. Okay, so go cat stretch to release. Up on all fours, chin to chest. Tuck the pelvis under, take a bit of a sad cat. And then you could try happy cat if you want to, or just work in the rounded cat position. Send the breath between the shoulder blades. So last week I gave you that variation. We crossed the legs on this one. Variation for anyone wants a different one. Legs super wide. So you take your knees to the off the mat. Bring your elbows down. It's not a very graceful position, I know. But then go cat to cow, and then you can you find a little bit more intensity there through the spine, and there's a little bit more work in the thigh groin. So it's worth having a little go with this one just to see where it gets your stretches. Does it do anything for you? And then also coming back up as well into all fours after that, you'll find it's quite a different variation for you. Put a wrist stretch in if you want one. Go one at a time, just so you can keep the same amount of weight there through each wrist. And then I'm going to show you demo round so you can see what I'm going to do. We're going to go gate pose. So just take one leg out to the side. Bring yourself all the way up onto kneeling and just reaching one hand down that long leg, the other hand up and over. Really try and get some space here from the hip, up the rib cage. Really working to that side body. And then we'll go back and do the other side. So again, see if you can get that leg out to the side. Reach that arm up, the other hand down that long leg. Love this stretch. Quite like this one quite early in the morning. Not to say that I do yoga every morning, because in my dreams I would. But if I remember, I often do a bit of cat to cow and then I do this stretch. Okay, that's nice. Let's go down into our front plank then. Elbows underneath your shoulders. Option 1, knees down. Option 2, legs straight. Stretch there for the feet. I'm not going to time so much today, but we're going to work with some little toe taps. Or if you want, you could work with 8 breaths. So toe tap to the side, center, side, center. So if you can do 8 of them or 8 breaths in just holding on plank. So your choice. Bit of a stretch for the feet. Challenge for the core. Try not to look back at the legs, so looking at the front of your mat, crown of head in line with spine. Then once you've done 8, just calm down, have a little rest. We're going to do one more. This is going to play with the arm circle stuff we've been doing. So it's going to be come up into your plank, and then it's going to be reaching the arm round, and then reaching it back. Reach it forwards, and then reach it back to your cape, and then back round. Option, you can put that into full plank. Reach. So if you can do 8 of these. Keep working with the core. Eye gaze to the front of the mat. And once you've done 8, we're going to release with a child's pose. So sit back towards your heels. Done quite a lot of shouldery stuff, putting the bands in. So if you want to have an option here of a shoulder stretch, a thread through. So one hand goes forwards and the other hand threads underneath. And then you just bring kind of more like the side of your head down to that threading through arm. Really reach right through the fingertips. Sending the breath, still going there to the lower back like we normally do. And then you would just take that to the other side. So reach one hand forwards. Try and get that arm nice and straight, lift it off the mat. Take the other arm through, bring the head down. 4 deep breaths. Nice. Come up to seated. Let's take a side series. So just pick a side. Loop bands if you want them. We're going to clam, and then we're going to double leg lift, and then we just have a side plank. So just kind of 3 exercises. How am I doing on time? I'm okay-ish. Ish. Let's see. Almost like you're going to fall forwards, then work with 8 to 10 of these. In pulling in the core, maybe hand on hip, trying not to let that hip kind of open and kind of move around. We're going to keep that still. A little bit of tension in the feet. So from there, straightening out the legs, lift the top leg, lift the bottom leg, lift your rib cage, take your arm and take it into a really big circle. So it's going from your hip towards your head and then really opening up into that circle. We've done a lot of these. Did a high lunge circle. Really working into stretching out through that shoulder. Reach right through the fingertips. Keep that rib cage lifted, those feet lifted as on a balance. One more. And release. Okay, so you can side plank with the loop bands if you want. And you can also put in one of your free weights. 5 of these, magic number today, is going to be side plank option. Lift the hips, knee down or legs straight up to you. It's going to be, what am I doing? I've written this down. It's going to be taking the weight in here as well. Leg lift, and you can put in a arm lift to a star, and then a twist. Reset. Leg lift, and then a twist. You're doing 5, 3 more. It's not an easy one, she says. And then 5, release. Other side. Clams. 8 to 10. Almost like you're going to fall forwards. A little bit of tension in the feet. Get into the back, the glute med. Pulling in the core. Try not to look at the feet or the legs if you can. Unless you've got a dog down there. Then I'd be looking at the dog as well. Couple more. Then that double leg lift. Getting nice and straight, no bananas here. Lift top leg, lift the bottom leg, lift the rib cage. Then start with your arm circles. If you can just do 5. Really work into this stretch, reach through the fingertips. Keep those legs lifted, those toes as high as you can keep them in that double leg lift. That rib cage lifted. Looking forwards. And release. Then that side plank. Option there to put in your weights. Options, knees down, elbow into shoulder. Going up to your star position and then threading that hand through. Star or legs straight. Then exhale onto that twist. Not easy, that one. Lots of benefits though, it's worth doing. Okay, let's go out of the bands and onto backs. Straight in on the 100 times 5. So set yourself up, ready? Find your neutral spine, shoulders relaxed, length at the back of the neck. Right angles behind the knees, feet hip width, feet facing nice and parallel, facing away from the body. Here we go then. Toe taps for 4, then pulses on 8. Holds for 8. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Pulse. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And hold. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. And again, if you want, tabletop this. 4, 3, 2, 1. Pulse. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And again then. 4, 3, 2, 1. Pulse. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 2 more times. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Pulse. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. Teasers if you have them. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last time. 4, 3, 2, 1. Pulse. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And release, full body stretch. Imagine you're a Christmas cracker, getting pulled from both ends. A whole month too early, a month and a bit too early. Give everything a bit of a squeeze. Scrunch up your fists, point your toes, scrunch up your face. Take a really big deep breath in. And breathing out, just release. Feel heavy. Take up loads of space. Then we're going to bend the knees, arms up to the ceiling, and the opposite arm, opposite leg, extend away from the body. And try and stay nice and still and strong through the center. So engage the core. Try and keep the spine nice and long, imprint down through the chest, the back, the rib cage, the lower back. Then your choice, you can tabletop that. There's a move known as dead bug, but it's also very similar to the single leg stretch in Pilates. Engage there with the core, imprint that lower back down. Exhale into your extensions, 4 more. Then place the feet down, both arms over the head. If you've got the space, circle that around the body. Long exhale, maybe something like 8 seconds. Try and get the length at the back of the neck. Try not to let that chest or ribcage lift off the mat as the arms go over the head. Keep the spine nice and long. Your choice, you could add in a single leg stretch as the arms go over the head. Or doubles. So both legs extend away as the arms go over the head. Long exhales into the extension. 2 more. And then arms out to the sides, bend the knees, feet on the mat, both knees drop across to one side, lower back release. And then center, take it over to the other side. Chest stretch. Try and feel super heavy there in the shoulders, in the back. Maybe look in the other direction to the way the knees are swaying. Just one more. Gonna hamstring stretch next. So if you want, you could use your long bands. About 30 seconds on each leg. So your choice how you want to do it, whether you like to put your foot into the long length of the band, you want to flex and point or anything like that. Or you want to just hold a hamstring stretch. I tend to double over my band just so I can really get a good hold on mine. That's what I'm doing here, fiddling around. Just faffing around. Push right at the back of the knee. Really find your stretch in there. Just checking you're not lifting up your hip off the mat. You've always got the option. Some people really like it to lengthen out the other leg, so I'll leave it up to you whether you can do that or not, or want to do that. Shoulders relaxed, keep that length through the spine. Keep that length in the back of the neck. And then taking that leg out to the side for 10 seconds. Just helping you balance yourself out with the opposite hand. Then bring it back in, put the band down. Let's quickly do glutes on this side as well before we move to the other side. So I noticed I just immediately did that. I put my foot on the top of that knee and I just moved my other foot across because I'm tight. So just be aware of that. The spare foot that's not lifted up, wants to move, often go in the midline. So just keep an eye on that, keep it hip width. Flexing that top foot that's lifted on there. Your choice, you could either just holding this can be enough if you're really super tight, or thread through. Pick up that foot that was on the mat. Hold on to the back of the leg and work at that stretch in there. Length at the back of the neck here. Try not to have your chin lifted up if you can. If it is lifting up, grab a cushion. Put it behind the head. Put the foot down and then allow the top leg, the top foot just to come all the way over. You're going to tilt it over. Hip stretch. And then the opposite side of the body, that arm's going to reach to the far corner. You can hold on to the ankle as well. Bring it all back up to center. Let's go to the hamstrings on the other side. 30 seconds. Push your weight at the back of the knee. Check you're not lifting up through the hips. You've got that length through the spine. Your shoulders are relaxed. Push your weight at the back of the knee. Engage through that hamstring. Checking in with the breath, just checking we're taking some deep breaths in when we're stretching. Taking that leg out to the side. Balance yourself out with the other hand. Then let's go to the glutes again. Again, just watch that resting foot that's down on the mat. Just keeping an eye on it, it's not drifted in. The hips are square as well, that's another way of doing it. They're wiggling around. Flex this top foot. If you want, then interlink the fingers and picking that up. Again, watch this chin and shoulders. Keep the length there through the spine. And this is when you realise you haven't stretched for a week. Oh, whoops. Oh dear. Then you're going to put that foot down, let the other foot just drop down. Hold on to the ankle. The arm can reach to the far corner. Lovely chest stretch in there as well. Still just checking that chin's not lifting up, so you've still got that length there at the back of the neck. Bringing it back to centre then, just a couple of shoulder bridges just to rinse that out. So just start with the pelvic tilt, knees, feet, hip width apart. Like a massage for the spine. Then you could add in lifting up the hips. Chin goes towards chest, reach the arms up and over. Nice and slowly, let's bring it down and then do 2 more. Just a way of massaging there through the spine. Really careful as we bring it back down. Squeezing through the glutes as you lift up the hips. Then hugging knees to chest as a rock or a circle. Bring it up to seated position. Bit of time if you want to roll back then. I'll leave it up to you which one you take. I'll demo them and then take you through to see which ones you want. But options if you don't want to do any more spine work is to take your butterfly stretch. So that's your soles of your feet together. You can hold on to your feet. Take that as a stretch at this point. Otherwise you can C-shape that lower back to upright, or you hold on to the shins, do a bit of rocking. See if you can come back to your hover position. You might like to open out and work with some stretches over the top if you've got tight hamstrings in there. You've got your shoulder stands, your boomerangs, all that round. Got your seals, where you have your soles of your feet together. Where you've got your crabs holding onto your feet. Opening out at the top. Just working with your body, working with your day also. What does it need? Is it craving that little bit of manipulation, that kind of rocking motion also sometimes? Or does it need more rest? So then we're going to come to spine twist, so seated position. You can put yourself on a cushion or a block here if you want to. Option if you want here to put in a band. And I'm going to put it into the a little bit of a breathing exercise afterwards. So hands at heart center, shoulders relaxed. We're going to spine twist, like our normal one. But option you can, if you want here, to take your band, bit of tension, take it over, and then work with your band in a spine twist. So I'll leave it up to you again. You can try a bit of both and you can ditch it if you don't like it. If you've got the band in there, just watch the wrists don't drop. So just try and stay nice and strong. Breathe in center. Breathing out through your twist. Stay nice and tall through the spine. Crown of head lifting on that inhale. Try not to lean forwards with the chin. Just think about being nice and upright. Put your tips, the earlobes, the bottoms of your ears, sitting over your shoulders. Then just, if you've still got your bands with you, take your band, open it out and place it around kind of this area of your back. So it's kind of, you've got your lungs and you're kind of at the bottom or mid to bottom of your lungs. Sometimes you have to fiddle around with you have to feel this and kind of figure out where it's going to be. Try and get it as wide as you can. Take some really deep breaths. If you want, you can yogic breath as well, so you can abdominal breathe and lift it, but often this really works well with the chest cavity breathing. So if you can do 5, really work into that tension on the band. It's hard. It's hard work. Exhale, relax. Training those muscles to really expand. Then you take the band away. It just feels amazing when you breathe into the space where you're working against the band. So I've got one more mantra to bring in whilst we're in the seated position. I'll just come a bit closer so you can see my fingers, and then we'll finish. It's called a detoxification mantra. So you take your fingers, and I find this quite fiddly to start with, is you're going to straighten them all, and then you put a space between the ring finger and the middle finger. And then you place the thumb, and you put the thumb of the root into the root of the ring finger. And you just put a gentle bit of pressure there into that space, that root. So this mantra is palms up. So if you're in this, cross-legged, you might put your palms there on your knees. If you inhale, like say for 1, see if you can exhale for 2. So it doesn't have to be 1 second, just that's the ratio. So try and exhale for longer. So this is going to channel the energy in the body into detoxification process, but which also involves clearing bad memories, and also bad memories from past lives that you may not know of. So it's quite powerful. It's very much linked to the mind also for negative thoughts. So it's not just kind of a physical level. It's very good for about 20 minutes a day, but also if this is just a couple of minutes is also good. You can break that up to 10 minutes twice a day. So you can visualize you're in a peaceful place, that memories do not bind you, and that you are free. And that's the detoxification mantra. There. So I'll say namaste for now, and then leave you with that one.